Hey, this is Dad Steve. It's a crypto bot passive income video. A few months ago, I did dabble on bots and then I closed it because I thought or think there is an imminent halving. I still think that. So I've got some play money, which for me is $1,400, just to see what was happening. And at the moment, the market is bullish. So everybody's a genius when the price goes up. When the price goes up relentlessly, then obviously you're just making constant profits. With the legislative changes in the UK and I think in America as well, trading on Binance is not as simple as it was. Adding funds to Binance, not as simple as it was. Just to give you a very quick overview, I had to install crypto.com, which has been approved in the UK for whatever reason, and then transfer the funds from crypto.com to Binance.com because crypto.com don't use bots, okay? And they definitely don't use the bots that I want. So the main difference between this video and the Binance video, which I'll repost, is the additional functionality. So what I've been doing is scalping this Doge USDT market. I'm going to show you very quickly, basically. Let's go in Binance. Now, I think this is going to crash down at any second. So when it goes up, look at that bar. Look at this green bar here. It's got up 2.92%. It's just relentlessly gone up. Now, what will normally happen, and I've got to tell you this just so you can be ready, is that all of these up bars will eventually be reclaimed. They will reverse. So at some point, it's going to go down to at least 21. At least. Yeah, around about kind of this range. About 21, low or high 21. They do tend to like round numbers. Yeah, so maybe 21,100. I wouldn't be surprised if it literally just touched 21, or see that one there, 220476, round about here. Near enough. Something like that, 2,500. It was near enough, just a little bit below. Wouldn't be surprised. That'd be a major correction. So there's two things to note from that. I'm expecting the price to go back down. Let me see if I can show you another thing. See on the 5 minutes, again, it's still bullish. See that yellow line? I don't know if you can see it here. If that turns and touches this pinky kind of line, it would have dropped to around about 0.287. And that may well be the reversal if it actually goes down that far. Obviously, we're not there at the moment, but that's another point where I expect the price is going to absolutely fall. The reason why I'm telling you that is to present the situation for what I'm going to show you next. And I know it's got a little bit technical. Okay, I'm on a platform with a specialist crypto trading bot called 3 Commas, and this is entirely contrasted by the Binance bot, which will follow this video, which is a reposting. There's so much additional functionality in this 3 Commas bot. You can get one free bot, and in the video to follow, I think I had 5 free Binance bots, but I condensed all those into one free 3 Commas bot just because of the additional functionality. Unfortunately, the price has dipped down, but see this price here at the very top, the $1.13. As the price was rising, I was just trying to cream off the profits before the price reversed, which goes back to the graphs that I've said before. That's what I'm doing. You just can't do that on the Binance bot. It doesn't give you that flexibility. So practically, and this is a little bit fiddly, see at the bottom, if you look to the bottom of the screen, you've got trade actions. If I closed at market prices and it was in profit, I would be doing that just to try and scalp the market and take the available profit before it reverses. You just can't do that on the Binance bot. That's one of the things. Another thing, let's click on this, bot actions. This is a base order just based on one bot for, you know, near enough $1.5 grand, same as the bot, same as the video that's about to follow. Instead of having 5 bots, I've got 1. I would prefer to have 5, but I can only have 1 free bot on 3 Commas. And believe it or not, to have a paid subscription, you can't actually order it from the app. You need to do it on a computer, and the only computer I have these days is my work computer, and they blocked the 3 commas page, and they'll work that one out. So I had to buy a computer or some kind of tablet, or borrow one, I guess, in order to take out a subscription to 3 commas, just because they can't build that functionality in. But the general word on the street is that the 3 commas bot is the industry standard, and overall I'm pretty happy with it. Right, anyway, so the settings here is what I recommend, and this is not financial advice. It's literally what I am doing, and I've got a reasonable expectation. Let's just say before the end of the year, I will double this money using these bots from, I think it's 1,400. It'll be double that. Let's just say 3,000 minimum. Minimum. I've got a reasonable expectation. That's, again, not financial advice. It's my expectations. And it's going to be on the principle that, okay, so you got 1,500. Say if I do double it, there'll be 3. Then I'll double it again in year 2. That'll be 6. I mean, it'll be quicker than this. I'm expecting it to be quicker than this. 6,000. Then I'll double it again, 12,000. Double it again, 24,000. Double it again, 48,000. Year 6, double it again. We're getting up to about 100,000. So it's a 6-year, £100,000 challenge that I'm going to be updating on. That is the challenge, and I think I can do it. I've lived through a halving, and I do still think that there may well be a halving. There may well still be a halving, and then this thing will have to reset on the other side. I would keep the money where it is, just display 1,500, and I'd probably reinvest at a lower level. Well, half if that was to happen. And then eventually, if you believe in the world of cycles, where stocks, shares, crypto go in cycles, sometimes they're up, sometimes they're down in a cycle. This bot here, even if tomorrow or a minute from now we went into a halving, eventually the market will catch up and it'll be fine. And that, again, that's not financial advice. Of course, something could go dramatically wrong. The crypto that I'm using at the moment is Doge. Doge is a meme coin. It has no utility. In some ways, that's a good thing, because sometimes when people speculate and say, well, actually, there's a better coin than this one, and then the price goes down, well, this one, well, there's nothing to it at all. Just a meme coin. It's a joke coin. In terms of risks, there's going to be multiples, but of the ones that were foremost of my mind, say if Doge Central, I'm talking about the crypto, not the politics. Say if Doge crypto somehow got hacked and fundamentally compromised, then we're in trouble and we're standing to lose absolutely everything. But ceteris paribus, everything's remaining the same other than things of that type. Me personally, and again, I'm only talking for me, I'm not giving you advice, you've got to follow your own advice and do your own research. I'm going to live with that risk. And Doge has been around for years, and my best guess, being a guess, nobody knows, it's going to be around going into the future, as is crypto, not going anywhere. So whatever your original order size is, most of your trades are going to be at that price. I started off with $100 and now I've doubled it to $200, but bearing in mind that I'm going ahead a little bit now, the take profit price I'm going to recommend is 1.5%. So if whatever you buy Doge at, or whatever your chosen crypto is, goes up by 1.5%, plus whatever the fees are, the little bit extra for the fees, you're going to be making $1.50 with that original kind of base order. Bear that in mind. But it will happen many times in a day, potentially. That's what you're hoping for. And as we'll go on a little bit later, like nowish, if the price falls and then goes back up again, it won't be $200 that we're rolling with. It will be, in this instance, $400. So you won't make $1.50 per trade. And that's how you get those multiples, and it just builds on itself, accelerating this free money generation. That's the whole point of bots. I hope you get it. And again, this doesn't have to be $200. It's just an example. It's just what I'm rolling with my one free bot, because I can't get the subscription through 3 commas for the reasons explained, that I need to have a laptop that I don't own. But the important thing is the price deviation is 3%. I personally found that 3% just gave me a little bit more protection. That is a big deal, by the way. It is a big deal. At 2.5%, you got a much better chance of catching the volatility, which means when the price goes up, you'll potentially make more profit. But what I'm really talking about is the sunny days, the good times. You need to also guard it against the bad times. And again, I've lived through a halving, and I think one is not necessarily all that far away. So I am personally sticking with 3%. I recommend 3 averaging orders per trade. And the maximum averaging orders placed on the exchange, I want to be 2. In the other video to follow, I think I said 1, but now I understand more about these bots. It depends how quickly they can refresh themselves to place an additional order, and it may well just be too slow. So I'd rather have those 2 orders on the exchange just so that it's there ready. There you go. And the average order size, I just like the concept of that as price falls, my investment doubles, which means the average price is always being dragged lower, and therefore the price, if it corrects upwards, doesn't have to go as far before I make profit, and the whole system more or less reset itself. Because once I've made profit and I've cashed out, I'll go in with that original order again, and my exposure to the market is lower. So that's the concept. In terms of target profits, yeah, I'm going with about 1.5% on this one. That's been quite safe. You don't want to be too greedy. I've seen people talking about 1.2%, which is definitely not greedy. And I've seen people talking about 2, 3, 4%. And the concept of this is you can miss those trades. So if the market hardly ever reaches that take profit price, you'll have all that volatility and you're catching none of it. So it's better to, within your own mind, be happy about what profit you want to nail down. And for me, that's at 1.5%. In the video to follow, I did select trailing profit, but even for this paid bot industry standard called 3 commas, I don't believe that their trailing profit system works at all. I was tracking the price, was it just yesterday? The price of Doge went way beyond the take profit price, but I think the trailing profit element just confused the system. If the 3 commas bot was actively refreshing to be aware where the price is at and where it needs to jump in, fair enough, but it didn't cash out at all. It went significantly beyond the take profit price, and I ended up with 0 profit from that trade. And in disgust, I turned off trailing profits, and I will never turn it back, because if it doesn't work for this, it won't work for others. Anyway, in terms of advanced, I've seen other people or other systems that offer this kind of cool down between trades. Personally, I believe that needs to be at 0. This whole system of averaging orders and price deviation and things like that is there to catch when the price goes down, basically, so you make more money. So even if you do potentially get caught at the top, it depends, and you just need to stay aware, and you can't cover everything. But again, if you're trying to go for that tight volatility where it only has to adjust within a couple of percentages, that's a bigger problem than where I'm going. What I'm suggesting with 3 averaging orders, which will eventually cover a variation of 21%, and I'll show you in a minute, more so than something which is more narrow, such as a 2% price deviation, or I've seen a lot lower. Potentially can make you money faster, but again, it doesn't cover you when the market bottoms out, and you could then be trapped at the top. Okay, so just to explain that in a table, if you look towards the middle of the screen, it's got a little table that says a 3, and it's got just above the little blue thing with the underlining saying 630 USDT, and I click on the table thing. And that's exactly what it does. It explains it in all table formats. So the top row, just basically saying you start off with your original, call it base order, your starting order, your opening trade. If the price falls by 3%, we're going into that second row, and you go in with another, well, whatever your base order is. For me, it's 200. If the price drops by 9%, you're doubling up basically. So you've already invested 2 trades of 200, which equals 4, and then you invest another 4. So you just average it up again so that your take profit price is being brought down, or the price that the crypto needs to reach, in this case Doge needs to reach, is now lower on average. So you can cash out quicker and get that money in, and again reset your liability. And then at the extreme, with your third safety order or averaging order, you go in with £800, which doubles all the investment you've done to date. And again, it's aiming to bring your average buy price down so you can cash out sooner. That doesn't cover a halving. If I added a fourth safety order, yeah, I'd have to double my total investment, which in this instance is, well, my liability here is about 1,600. The money invested, which means I don't have the money to cover that third safety order at this point. I just wanted the bots to generate it. I'd have to invest at minimum another 1,600 plus the shortfall, which I think is about $150. And then I'll have the money available on the bot in order to do a third safety order. But let's just hope we don't get there. But these are the things to consider. Anything else to say? Yeah, it tells you what the take profit price would be if you look towards the bottom, 0.29865. That must be in the current order. I think that's everything, but I'm really happy with these settings. Let's going to show you again quickly because it is easy to miss. And it is different from the video to follow. And I am hopeful that obviously this all goes well. And listen, I check this every day, but it's not really sensible to check it every day. I can check it every day and be happy because the prices are going up, but it's built, as I said, for when the prices go down. Eventually I'm expecting to make even more money because with a 3% deviation, I've got those averaging orders. So don't be scared. If the price goes down, everything goes in the cycle. You're happy if it goes down and you ride it out until it goes back up again, and you just can't wait for that because you'll make even more money. So you've got your base order. You can have 3 averaging orders. The first averaging order, if you're on 3 commas, is going to be the same as your base order. The price deviation I recommend is 3%, and that's just what I'm doing. You know what I mean? You can make up your own mind. It's not financial advice. The maximum number of averaging orders is 3. If you say more than that, you need to have the money there. So say if I said 4, at the moment my the maximum investment I need to have is 1,600. If I make that 4 averaging orders, I said the maximum investment I need to put on there is 3,200 instead of the 1,600. So I just didn't want to do it, not at this stage. And the maximum averaging orders, as I said, is 2. You just want that to be sitting on the exchange ready, just in case things happen quickly, as I explained. And the size order multiplier is 2. You just want to double up all the time to bring those average buying prices down. And 2 again in order to step multiplier. Listen, that is everything with a target profit of 1.5 and no trailing profit. Right, let's have a quick look and see where the market is at the moment. Yeah, it's just explain this quickly. Right, let's look at the middle first. The buy-in price, the price that I bought in at, is 0.29495, etc. The current price is slightly below that, 29518, which represents a 5-cent loss, potentially. If the price goes up, if you look at the bottom little green thing in the middle, it says TP 0.29968. If the price goes up to 29968, that represents a 1.5% increase from my buy-in price. If you remember the settings that I had a little bit earlier, there, the take profit 1.5 at the bottom. But because I believe that the market is going to reverse sometime kind of soonish, I just keep on scalping the market. So say if that went up to something which is worth scalping, like, I don't know, something close to $1, just out of principle. Bear in mind, I'm expecting it to reverse. Then what I'll do is click on trade actions. And if you look to the bottom, close at market prices. And then they've got all those averaging orders ready to catch the price as it falls and bring down my average buying price. That's it. If the market keeps on going up, then I'll keep on scalping and just taking the profit until it does reverse. And that is inevitable. This particular bot has been running for 2 days. I've made a whole $20, which my computer brain tells me about $10 per day. So in 2 days, I'm up 1.28% of my total investment. And again, my computer brain tells me in slightly under 200 days at the current rate, then I would have doubled the money. And my goal is that this bot will make me 100,000 in 5 years. Then I would most definitely be on course for that. So let's just hope that we do. It's all fun. Listen, if you want to come along, you want to play along or follow the progression, this is the introductory video. The videos after this will build on this one. So this is the one that rules them all. And again, the others will be updates. I'm probably going to do updates weekly just to discourage panic when this is red and you're just waiting for the market to move and it looks like it's going to be forever. And it's literally been like 30 minutes or a day or something silly like that, or a couple of days. You might actually need to wait a couple of weeks, maybe even a couple of months before the market corrects to where it needs to be. And then you just continue just trading on the volatility and taking all that free money. Your money hasn't gone anywhere. I was just about to say, let's scalp a little bit more off this market. I'm literally just waiting for that market to reverse again. Let's go back into Doge. And it started that a little bit. This is on the 5 minutes. So when we first started talking, it was towards the top end of a round number towards 0.3. And it got rejected at that price or something very near it. And now it's maybe started that retreat back that I mentioned a little bit earlier. It's gone in 2 hours. I think the minimum it's going to retreat back to is 0.28. But more likely, as I mentioned before, around about this kind of level, 2.5. That's a big jump. And then maybe even as far as 2.3. Could go anywhere. I'm just talking about my expectations. Anyway, listen, we're on this journey. If you need any advice, let me know. I think the biggest problem would be registering with Binance and registering with Crypto.com and moving money across and things like that. Gets a little bit technical. Could hopefully be worth it. Or just watch and see my journey and just see how close I get. And if I get there and in a month's time or 6 months' time, you think, well, yeah, I could do that. Well, you definitely can. Let's hope we get there. Let's hope we get there together. That is Steve and I am out.